The Golden Knights travel to Calgary tonight to meet the Flames, a team that has allowed 18 goals over the past 3 games. Well, finally, VGK get its offense rolling. They should tonight. That's ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you doing so. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, and please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. One of the reasons why the Flames are so bad defensively, probably because we call them Calgary.
You threw me off in the intro.
A little different, right? Yeah, different approach. I know.
This will be a shorter show if we keep it to Calgary.
Right? Isn't that great though? I did it professionally, or allegedly professionally.
Allegedly is much better.
Allegedly an entertainer today, not a journalist. So the Flames are so bad defensively. One of the reasons why one of the players is on VGK's roster, Noah Hannafin. The other is a player that's on Dallas's roster currently, and that's Chris Tanev. 18 goals given up over the past 3 games for Calgary. The Flames went 11-7 on their lineup the other day. They're missing a forward also. Colorado scored 5 times in the second period on Tuesday. This should be an absolute over, although I'm going to give up on my predictions. The Flames were minus... They were minus Andrei Kuzmenko. They also had Andrew Mangiapane out in that last game. Goaltending is also porous. Dan Vladar was chased in the Avs game. Jacob Markstrom has a lower body injury. Vladar, by the way, you're like this number, 13 goals, 75 shots in the last 5 periods. This team's absolutely falling apart, and it should be an evening where if Vegas takes to playing on all of its details and actually picks up a lot of things and cleans up where they need to clean up, this could be a VGK route tonight.
Okay.
All signs pointing for a big W for VGK.
Not all signs. What based on everything you just said, what should the Golden Knights be favored by tonight then?
Minus
what
280.
Minus 150.
I'm not going to make any more predictions after I stunk the other day on the under, but this game is definitely pointing, every single sign pointing to the Vegas Golden Knights. No,
you're 100% right. I mean, the Flames are Tom Petty free falling right now. Obviously, Tanev and Hannafin, that's the heart and soul of that defense right there. Arguably, possibly Tanev more than Hannafin, as crazy as that is to think of it like that. But since the trade deadline, which I believe was March the 8th, like you said, 5, 7, and 6, they're averaging 6 goals against. Tough road trip they wrapped up in Florida and Carolina, and then they come back and Colorado just wipes the mat with them. So, I mean, if there's one thing maybe the Flames get up to compete against Hannafin, like I don't know if that's still is. It's not like Hannafin left, under bad terms or anything like that. It's just it happened, and you knew the Flames were going to be selling everybody. I'm surprised the Flames didn't sell more. So what they sold, who they sell to? Was it Markstrom? Who they sell to?
Markstrom. No, Markstrom. They tried to sell. There were a lot of talks about him being traded, but. No, they held on to him.
Vancouver traded for someone. Who did Vancouver trade for from the Flames?
That's right.
There was a big trade with. Yeah, there was a trade like a week before the deadline there. And so point being is the Flames had a sell-off. We knew this was coming, and the Flames were kind of teetering near that lower wild. I mean, look at this. Leading up to the trade deadline, 1, 2, 3, they rattle off 5 wins in a row. And then on March the 4th, they drop one against the Kraken. They beat Tampa the day before the deadline, and Sell them all. So the Golden Knights got the Flames in a tough spot. Call it what it is. You got a lot of kids, I'm sure, that are looking to make a name for themselves, and players with limited NHL experience, starting with Pahal and Daniil Miromanov, former Vegas Golden Knight players. So they're certainly going to want to stick it to their old team a little bit. That's just human nature. No ill will necessarily, beyond just trying to, make a name for themselves and get paid down the road. Although Miromanov did get paid. He got what do you get? A 1.15 AAV. He got like he got a $2.5 million contract. So he got an extension worth $1.25 million. So he's getting paid a little bit of money. We'll see where Pahal ends up. I mean, like you said, all signs point to the Golden Knights needing to come in and just have an absolute rout, but minus 150, that's not very big. Plus 130 at home. I'll look up
that trade. Look up that trade.
Yeah, I'm going to look up the public split right now. Let's see. Go ahead.
We'll look up the trade also for the player. And then Jacob Markstrom, there were a lot of rumors about him going to New Jersey at the trade deadline. And instead, New Jersey picked up, let me see if I can remember, they picked up Jake Allen, and Kaapo Kähkönen from San Jose. So there's a chance that it could be VGK against the Sharks tonight in this game. Definitely that could happen. And then here's another number for you. Again, the defense is very porous for Cal. Gary, 15 defensemen have dressed this season for the Flames. And I just, and then I just wanted to check out how many have suited up for VGK. Do you know? Because 15 sounds like a pretty big number, right? 15? 13 for the Vegas Golden Knights defensemen have suited up this season.
Wow. Okay. I thought it was only 10. That's
I just went through the whole roster last night. It kept me up late, and that's why I was late for the show, man.
I'm sure it kept you up late. The trade was Elias Lindholm. So Lindholm, Hanifin, Tanev, like all these players,
Markstrom, Lindholm, it's all good.
They're ripping. They've ripped the heart out of the Flames right now. So they're just going to limp to the finish line, whatever ends up happening. The Flames are rooting for the other teams not to do well that they traded with, so their draft picks can elevate. And the Flames are just in the middle of this just crazy, goofy rebuild right now. We'll see how it all ends up shaking out. But in any event, the Golden Knights need to go there. And this really needs to be, like you said, a 4-1, 5-1, 6-2 route type of game. I wonder which game now, looking at the Flames. I mean, Flames and Devils are the Golden Knights' next two games. Logan has to go one of these games. When was the last time? I had to look this up. I had to look this how long it's been. When's the last game that Logan Thompson started?
I told you yesterday, March the 2nd, 3rd. March the 3rd. March the 3rd.
Second. Yeah, that Sabres game, which was just terrible. But I mean, it's just Cassidy's playing with fire with the goalies. I will be the first one to say this, and Tony's going to back that up because we've been talking about our concerns about the goalies for different reasons. But at the end of the day, we both have concerns about the goaltending. And Aiden Hill, if he goes tonight, I think it'll be his 30th appearance of the season. Now 3 appearances greater than his career high, which was also last season at 27 appearances. And the Golden Knights have 15 games left. I think I got it at 4 games started for Logan. And Tony, you have it at about a period for Logan Thompson. The rest is going to be Aiden Hill. So, I mean, is Aiden Hill really going to have over 40 games played heading into the playoffs? That's a concern. I'm concerned about that. I really am.
Yeah, for sure. And the 2 goaltenders for Calgary, Vladar now, and they have a kid named Wolf, Dustin Wolf, who is the future goalie from Tustin, California, but he's 1-3-1, and he came in to mop up the other night after they pulled Vladar. So those are the 2 goaltenders that they'll face tonight. Nazem Kadri is the leading scorer, 56 points. Blake Coleman with 48. Again, they have some offensive weapons that can keep Calgary in the game in this instance tonight. But for VGK, it has to be target practice. Just put everything on net. Just start firing on net. That's about it. And you have a greater chance to win in this game.
No, 100%. I mean, this is back to our horse racing references. This is the class game right now, right? This is The Golden Knights are higher up in class. The Flames
VGK is
are
going down. They're dropping in class tonight.
maybe VGK is maybe after the game, depending on what happens. But the Golden Knights, there's no reason this game shouldn't be a comfortable victory. I mean, 6-1, 4-1, those are tough to predict, but it can be a 3-1 type of game where the Flames just never lead. The game isn't tied after, whatever. I mean, here's what cannot happen. Like Detroit, Golden Knights got a multiple goal lead, and then all of a sudden Detroit ties the game in the third, and there's absolute mayhem. Golden Knights are fortunate to walk away with a regulation win. And then the Kraken, just the breakdowns in that third period, particularly positioning off of the faceoffs, passengers just watching the puck, and the Golden Knights were fortunate to escape that game in the way that they did. The Golden Knights can't put themselves in that spot tonight. Sure, if they win and they get 2 points at the end of the day, fine, whatever. But this is the time when you look at teams like the Flames and the Devils and even the Kraken again next week, the Blue Jackets, the Blues, all these teams who are, teetering out of the playoffs. This is where the Golden Knights, the killer instinct, just put these teams out of their misery early and move on. And one thing I was just thinking about really fast here as we get
I was
ready to
just
jump to
thinking
the
that
next
this
segment,
is
I'm sure.
the rigged instinct. I mean,
There
they're
you
not
go.
playing great teams here down the stretch. Let's face
No,
it.
but one thing that I think got lost in the shuffle in Tuesday's victory was the pass that Chandler Stevenson made to set up Marchessault's one-timer to tie the game. It was such a good touch pass. Stevenson was blind, no look. He knew exactly where Marchessault was going to be. He didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it to set up Marchessault. So got to give credit to Stevenson, who has not had a great year, but that was a good moment for him.
Okay, one thing that sticks out from that game, if we're going to go back, we're supposed to be springing forward, but you're going back. So one of the things that stands out to me, that Petro lob pass on the winning goal in overtime, but the alley-oop, but Vegas Bjorn is literally fighting Eichel for the puck on the breakaway.
Oh,
Go back and watch it. I watched it 15 times last night.
I thought you were going to be like those clowns that were saying Carlson was running interference, and that goofball that
he was
like zooming in 15x to see. Look, the tip of Bjorkstrand's stick got caught in Carlson's glove. It shouldn't have. Shut up.
Did you see? Wait, time out though. Did you see where Carlson actually took his stick on that breakaway and put it in position like he was downhill skiing or something? What was he doing? Coming up next. Okay, we've got Will Carrier be back in the lineup tonight. William Carrier. We'll take a look at that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time that you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys, and you can make sure that you are beating inflation no matter what you are purchasing. The average Ibotta and user makes up to $256 per year, and that's to cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, so you can buy the flight that you've been eyeing, that game that you've been dying to go to, and a fancy dinner perhaps that you've been craving. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, you can just add offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get back real cash that you can actually use and cash out that goes into your bank account. PayPal, it goes there, or you can even redeem it into gift cards. Join the over 50 million users and earn cash back every time that you shop from over 2,700 brands and retailers, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and much, much more. So right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 for just trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONNHL when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app, and you can start earning cash and use the code again. It is LOCKEDONNHL. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. And I have a hard time waking up when it's still dark outside. Sorry about that, Golic. My bad today.
You're 60
But
seconds late.
yeah, you
Stop it.
can address this tomorrow on WTF with the Friday if you need to.
No.
And or on the Chris and Chris show, which is the YouTube exclusive. We appreciate everyone tuning in. That's on Saturdays, by the way.
Good segue.
Yeah. So William Carrier, is he expected to return tonight? All signs are pointing in that direction. If he does return, who does he replace in the lineup?
I don't think the Golden Knights are announcing he's on the trip and mentioning he's on the trip with the intent of possibly playing and not to play him. Now, we don't know what's going to happen when he does take the ice for the morning skate in a couple hours. That, of course, can change things, but all signs do point to Carrier. There you go. All signs do point to Carrier returning tonight. The simplest change that's going to happen, in my opinion, is Carrier replacing Cotter. I think Coach Cassidy really, really, really wants to see that fourth line of Waugh, Kolesar, and Carrier back together. Gives him the ability to roll four lines with comfort. Not saying Cotter isn't adequate in that role as well, but Carrier is really part of the identity of that identity line. Carrier, weird season. How many points does he even have this year?
His last
7 points, 33 games, 5 goals.
Last game was Florida on January the 4th. It's been that long.
It's been that long. Wow, I had no idea it's been that long. Okay,
that's
not
injury.
a surprise by any means.
Remember the upper body injury, and then we had the guy whose eyebrows don't move telling us that his return was hindered by a serious illness. And then the shenanigans of after we heard McCrimmon say, Carrier's coming back. Okay, he's right there. And the next day, LTIR. Cooking the books, absolutely, on that instance. But yeah,
they're using the rules. They're using the rules to make
they
sure
do need that fourth.
that
fourth line has been obviously MIA. It has been, and they need them to be, as you mentioned, the identity line. So they should get Carrier back into that rotation, and that'll take a little bit for things to start to come together for the Vegas Golden Knights. But it would be a good sign if they could get that fourth line rolling again.
Nick Waugh is the engine that's going to keep the fourth line on the ice. Let's be clear about this. If Howden were to go down there, there's a big difference. Fraze did really well. Fraze had a really nice run when he was down there on that fourth line, but there's a big skill gap between him and Nick Waugh. We saw Nick Waugh's offensive ability on display when he was in the top six, the top two forward lines, while Eichel was out for an extended period of time. The bigger question, I think, now going to the second part of this is, who's going to sit and what does the competition look like right now? So you have 5 players kind of competing for 2/3 spots, depending on how you want to look at this. You got Carrier, Cotter, Howden, Dorofeev, and Kolesar. And there's some really different players in there, so they're not necessarily competing for the same spots. Like Dorofeev is not going to bump Will Carrier off that fourth lineup or anything like that. I think this also is going to depend on what Coach Cassidy wants to do. So right now, that third line is William Karlsson, Mike Amadio, and Pavel Dorofeev. For a scoring situation, that's a good line. But I'll tell you right now, if the Golden Knights face the Oilers in the first round, which seems like what it's going to end up being, I think Dorofeev gets bumped off of that line. And that's where you're going to see like a Howden move down. Now, does Dorofeev go up? Does Cotter draw back into the lineup? Like, those are some of the questions that Cassidy is going to obviously have to address. We saw Cassidy stack a line with Karlsson, Ronbjerg, and Amadio against the Oilers when they faced off not too long ago. And it worked out, keeping McDavid off of the score sheet 5-on-5, which no one seems to be able to do right now. So we'll kind of see how this whole thing all shakes out. But my concern right now is the second line. Brett Howden, Chandler Stevenson, Anthony Mantha.
Yeah.
Mantha does not have a single point yet as a Golden Knight. Stevenson is up to 40 points on the season, so he's starting to find his groove right now. And Brett Howden has
just returned, right? He just returned this past week.
Yeah, but on the season for Howden,
do we call that the second line, the Howden line?
It's the Mantha line. It's the Mantha line.
The Mantha line. Okay.
13 points for Howden. He's a -11. But what's going to keep Howden in the
He's a -11.
Yeah, what's going to keep Howden around is the ability to play center and kill penalties. But that second line right now is missing that punch. So that's why I think, depending on what the game scenario is and stuff like that, Howden going down to the line with Carlson, Dorofeev going up to that second line, I think really will help the scoring punch of that second line. So Stevenson, unfortunately, does not have the ability to carry a line by himself. He does not have the ability to carry Howden and Mantha. And we'll see if that see how that shakes out.
It's going to be real interesting to see who now sits. And Cotter's just not had a good season. And like we said, he's always throwing F-bombs because he just misses the net wide open. He's just struggling, and
Cotter
I think
I'm sorry.
Cotter's the first one to sit, right? I would think right now.
Cotter is the first one to sit, but I don't think this is going to bury him in the lineup either. So what Paul Cotter does probably is better than everyone on this list. You can argue maybe Carey and Kolesar are kind of the same type of player, but Cotter works his tail off. Cotter is a very physical player. And I have said so many times in various tweets throughout the year, watching these games from at home or in the box, that Cotter does so many things right that will make it difficult for Cassie to take him out of the lineup. Unfortunately, Cotter also does a lot of things like overskating a puck a few games ago. I forgot which game that even was.
Oh, that was brutal. Yeah.
Cotter just has some mental lapses, and he's young. I mean, what is he, a 23-year-old player? He's a young player, so this is part of the process, Tony. There you go. This is part of the process, watching a player mature and kind of grow into their own game and stuff. But that's where other players like Howden, like Dorofeev, who is certainly growing into his game at a much quicker pace. Carrier has an established identity with this team. Kolesar has an established identity with this team. But Cotter, you really look at Cotter, he's been moved all over the place. He's played on the top line in the past. He's played on the third line. I honestly think fourth line left wing is the best place for Cotter because he's an energy spark type of player with his offensive ability and his one-on-one speed. He has an ability to create a lineup challenge for the other team trying to slow down a not typical fourth line left winger.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they shake things up tonight. And this could be a good spot for LT to play. It could be.
Who? Is there a backup goal? Is there another goalie on this team?
Okay. And you mentioned Fraze's name. So now he's played about 3-4 games. So his name will definitely be on the cup. He'll bounce
16 games for Fraze. Come on now. Okay. 16.
Definitely.
Luke Cormier's played 2. Denisenko's played 6 games. Hey,
Denisenko's name is definitely
Bjornfot, 2 games. 2
he's
games.
On the cup. He's earned his way onto the cup. 2 games.
He's earned his way. -2. That's great. He got 2 penalty minutes. Those were 2 really important penalty minutes that he took.
The one was
2 important penalty minutes
by Vegas Bjornfot. Coming up next.
So they're gonna keep what's his name's off the business. Who should be on the cup? Why am I drawing his blank right now?
Gary Bubolz.
Yeah, they're going to keep Bubolz's name off the cup again because Denisenko and Luke Cormier and Bjornfot are going to.
We need a tracker for this. Who's going to? Yeah, Cormier definitely will be on the cup. Coming up next, we have our locks of the night. And
people say we're negative. We're talking about a Stanley Cup win.
Comes your way next, right after this on Locked On Golden Knights.
Let's roll right past it.
Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? That's right. Robinhood has the only IRA or IRA account that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar that you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April the 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar that you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right. No cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement, and thanks to their IRA with the 3% match. This offer good through April the 30th. You can get started at robinhood.com/boost. That's robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal information. Claim as of Q1 of 2024, validated by Radius Global Market Research. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights. I kind of left you hanging in the air there. I don't know. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much, especially our everydayers. Oh, did I see there's like Lil John. This is Lil Chris. You got Lil Chris. Oh, shout out to Lil Chris. Lil Chris coming back to volleyball, right? In a little over a week, yeah?
Gonna go to the thrill game?
Yeah, I thought we were bringing the whole team.
We are bringing the whole team.
I thought we were bringing the whole team, Dad. It's not just me. It's not about me. Okay, it's time for locks of the night and predictions. And this time at the thrill game, last time they were there, and somebody comes over and says, hey, there's some people doing a chant down there on that other side of the arena. The chant is, shut up, Tony. It must be about you, Cardasco. So I appreciate that. All right. Let's get little Chris out there. What are you doing awake? It's spring break, bro. Come on, man. Go back to sleep. No?
It's spring break. My goal is to wake up only earlier.
Whoa. Okay. Don't start that routine, man. You'll be like us. Okay. Little Chris, it's time for your prediction, man. What is your lock of the night? What is your prediction for tonight's big game in Calgary? Do you call them Calgary too? You call them Calgary?
Well, one, you did say it for the full 30 seconds, and two, yes.
You need a 30-second gap.
30-second gap. Okay. What's your lock of the night? Give us a couple locks for VGK.
It's going to March since he's being then he's just so good on leading.
Get closer.
I'm leading the team, and then Eichel for the Seattle overtime goal. And since it's a big game, we need to win it to go ahead in the standings. I'm just gonna say 4-1, 4-2 Vegas, 4-2 Vegas.
4-1, 4-2. Good. 4-1.5.
4-1.5.
Yeah, we'll split it.
4-2 and a disallowed goal.
Go back to sleep, man. Enjoy this time. You could get some.
We're going out somewhere today. Where are we doing? So we going go-kart? He wants to go to K1 today. I don't know if we're going to K1.
What's he say? Go-karts.
Yeah, he wants to go to K1 go-karting.
All right. That's awesome. All right, Speed Racer. We appreciate you.
Speed Racer.
My two locks of the night will be, I'm going to go with Eichel. If Karlsson doesn't try to take the puck from his own teammate on a breakaway. And then I'm going to go with Mantha. I'll go with Eichel and Mantha. And my prediction is 6-4 Vegas Golden Knights. 6-4.
I'm the most negative one.
Watch it be watch it be a 1-0 final tonight. Like,
we were all over the under on the Kraken game, and that was pacing just fine until the Golden Knights stopped playing hockey in the third period.
Oh my God. It was pond hockey in the third.
It really was. It was bad hockey in the third, but the Golden Knights got there, so whoop-de-doo. Marchessault and Hannafin, revenge game. Stick it to your former team. I'm going 4-3 Golden Knights. I feel like they get it done, but just the odds, the sports books, the fact that the public is aligned 68-32 on the Golden Knights. 30 when this is a spot, guys, where if you just bet numbers.
Is it a trap game?
No, because they're playing the Devils on Sunday. That's not a trap. They're not looking ahead by any means. It's a trap game because of just the situation, I guess, but not because of their next opponent. This is a spot, though, where if you're fishing for value, like tonight, the Devils, only 22% of the public like them, and they're plus 150 in Dallas tonight. Dallas on the second of a back-to-back. That's where you look for value, and there's a lot of value on betting the Flames as a sizable home dog tonight. But I think Vegas gets it done. 4-3 Golden Knights, Marchessault and Hannafin.
Okay, even though you are a card collector, keep your eyes out because the Penguins announced today that the shipment carrying the Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads for tonight's game has been stolen en route to Pittsburgh.
I was going to talk about that. I actually wrote that down. I forgot to mention it. It's going to be breaking news.
The huge heist. So keep your eyes out for that one. Hey, what about Vancouver blowing that 3-0 lead last night to the Avs.
They got a point at least, and it's unfortunate that there's not a lot of pressure. Although, the Oilers got to be creeping up a little bit in there.
So you say right now the matchup has to be
9 points down.
Wow.
But
You're
three
saying
3 games, 9 points, but 3 games.
3 games in hand?
3 games in hand, Edmonton, Vancouver, absolutely.
Oh, boy. Well,
so
we want that Edmonton VGK. We have to get that matchup.
I'd much rather Edmonton. There's a few teams, maybe we can talk about this. I'll put this on the napkin for next week when there's a gap.
Yeah.
But Edmonton is one of the teams in the West I will gladly take in any round of the playoffs, especially the first round of the playoffs.
Because you get ink. You get a lot of ink. Yeah, a lot of ink in Edmonton.
Sure. I mean, I guess. Well, I guess I'll take the selfish approach. Sure, but
I want UK to surpass Denmark for number 3 in listenership.
Stu Skinner is not a good goaltender, guys, and that's it. And you got an unproven coach. I'll take it all day. I will wager. I'll make my biggest wager of the year on that series if the Golden Knights, and I don't bet a lot of money, but I'll make my biggest wager of the year that the Golden Knights would beat them in a 7-game series in a sports book. I'm not looking to bet anyone. Do not PM me for action. I do not bet offline. So get that out of your head right now.
Yeah,
you're not. I'll bet someone a beer, maybe. I'll bet an Oilers fan a beer that's coming to a game.
But the Oilers fans really like us. They like me a lot more than the VGK fans do. Because,
to be fair, that's a lot of fan bases. But yeah,
because I'm an entertainer. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Don't forget, tomorrow is WTF, What the Friday. Line them up, please. Your comments are always terrific. I really do look forward to Fridays, except for the fact that they come too quickly each and every week. They just kind of
doesn't it? Oh my God.
Holy smokes. And then, of course, on Saturday, you heard from the man on this show today. That's little Chris, who's going go-karting. Please do not fall off the go-kart, Big Chris. The Chris and Chris show.
Well, the way I drive, it could happen.
That's coming up. Make sure safety first.
Robin's racing.
Okay. Of course, we appreciate you tuning in. Chris and Chris show Saturdays on the YouTube channel. And subscribe there as well. For my man, Chris Golick, Big Chris, we call him around here. You could find him today, go-karting, if you want to push him into the wall. I'm Tony Cardasco, reporting. We're reporting from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.